What's up, Aaron?
What's up, Hunter? How you doing?
Doing great. So, I mean, it's been blazing hot outside for the last couple of days.
It has been, but I didn't go outside today. I know I need some sunlight, but holy crap, it is hot. I saw the index on the internet earlier, and I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I think I'll be fine.
I mean, like to give you an idea how hot it's been in Delaware just the last couple of days, it's like every day it rains right after the day. That just means that he really got so hot that the
Oh,
Delaware
yeah.
itself was like, okay, time to cool down.
Yeah, last night I was streaming, and we had a bad storm. We was in the center of it, and like I said earlier, I lost power, and it flickered on, and come back off, and then I lost. I lost, the stream. I was like, yeah, it's time to get off because when it's like that, even though I got a surge protector, it just flows off the momentum of the stream. So I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Oh yeah.
So
Basically, it's like during that time, like I was playing Dead by Daylight as well. Um, and yeah, I disconnected twice that whole night because of the foot of that, and that never happens.
no, and then you have to sit in the 5 minutes a time each time. So just know if you disconnect once, you get a 5 minute ban. You
Yeah,
connect
I had that.
twice.
I had that for
Yep.
one. I had that for one of them. They.
Yep. Yeah. And then if you disconnect twice in a match, you get another one. So they give you like a thing before in the past, before you started playing Hunter, what it used
Mhm.
to be is like if you disconnect one, you get 5 minutes. If you disconnect two, you get 14 minutes. If you disconnect three times, you get a half an hour. Don't ask me how I had that. I know that because nobody needs to know how I know that. And then after that, it's just hour on it to that. So yeah. So yeah.
Oh yeah, like I remember playing a lot because when I was younger, I played a lot of Halo, and when I played a lot of Halo, that's exactly what would happen if you decided, you know what, I'm done with this match. I'm done with it, and then you leave the match. Like, doesn't sound good for you.
No, but the thing is, like now, behavior for Dead by Daylight changes to where you get 2 5 minutes instead of a 5 minute in the 14. So you get 2 5 minutes, then you start your 14. So
Right. Well,
15.
speaking of Dead by Daylight, yeah, I've been playing a lot of matches because of you. And believe me, those killers are not nice to me whatsoever.
Nope, because
Like,
killers. What you need to do is if killers are playing sweaty, I know that you're like newer, so it doesn't help you out. That the fact is that you're getting hard focused when you're trying to learn how to loop yourself.
yeah, I finally prestiged Michael uh 2 days ago. And now I got Leon at level 35, I think.
Oh, you got bolt cuts level 35. Let's go.
Yep, and I got him going on there. But every time, like every killer, as soon as they get on, there was one, like I was playing 5 matches, and 3 of them were all huntresses, and none of them were nice to me. Like there was one who chased me around the map twice just to get me down.
Yeah. No, but for the it's not the killer's job to be nice to you. It's their job to kill you.
Oh yeah.
um,
I only have one Billy that I played today who actually like could have got me, but was like put me right in front of the exit gates, let me struggle out of them and leave.
yeah, he was nice. Some killers would be nice. Just know when the new Mori changes come. So if in the future they're gonna get rid of all the Moris, got them all. I guess give you compensation for it through blood points because I have like over 500 Moris on Demogorgon. Where they will have a Mori animation at the end of the game. So when if a killer downs you, they just automatically Mori you, so they don't have to take them to the hook. So again, these nice killers out here that wants to give out hatches stuff, you're gonna have to take the survivor to the match because if you down them, you kill them.
Right.
So
Which
that's in
speak
the future.
which speaking of which about for that, you just recently put out a few videos about Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Like and I guess the leaks were that Demogorgon's coming back with a new chapter.
Yep, Stephen Nancy Demogorgon and possibly a new skin for Demogorgon. I have no inside information on that just yet, but it'd be nice to see if they do give out a skin for Demogorgon again. But Hawkins looks like it's coming back updated. They're gonna update Hawkins to the newest season. It's not gonna be the same Hawkins that we know, but I'll take it back. I miss Hawkins.
Right. And I mean, anybody who wants to get an idea with that can go check out Aaron's video, link below. And also comes my favorite thing that they're adding in there, the new Resident Evil expansion.
Oh yeah, it's Chapter 2, Project W.
Right. And just to confirm with you, because I have this question too. Um, is Wesker gonna be a killer or survivor?
He's gonna be the killer.
Okay, that's good.
Uh-huh.
If he's a killer, that's really good
Yeah, because
because
the survivors are Rebecca Chambers and Ada Wong as the survivors.
right, because Ada, I saw, Ada and Rebecca, yeah, those are really good survivors. When I heard Wesker, I was like, Wesker? Isn't like he's more deadly than anybody else in that
Yeah,
series.
he's a killer. So again, there's a lot of humanoid creatures. So killers like humanoid creatures. I keep seeing creatures. Humanoid humans in DBD, but I want to see more creatures like just like the Demogorgon. Like I want to again, they've been giving out a lot of humanoid monsters or not monsters, but people as killers in the game. I want to see more humanoid creatures or creatures in general, which is the Demogorgon. He's a creature, he's not a human. But I rather see some more of those like the alien or like this one game, I forget this, but there was a person I know of Dust Food that did a video on this video game or was it Wasteland? I think it's called Hunter's called Wasteland, right?
I think I know that game.
Yeah, yeah. Where that monster in there, like that monster looking with the horns, I would like to see that in DVD. That's one of his recent videos. This is coming from Dust Food Guys on YouTube. Um, just cite my sources. So I would like to I would like to see if that we could get that license because again I want more creatures in the game. Like I don't mind the humans for killers, but I really want more creatures, honestly.
I know because Legion is not my favorite.
No, Legion,
Uh
I'm not a fan of
I'm not a big fan of
Legions.
Legion. Sudoku from the Ring, she's technically a dead person, so that's a ghost. Um Technically Huntress. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Michael technically not really human.
He's
He's
more of a
super.
demon. He's more of a super demon or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to
I'll go
call
along
him.
with that because
Yeah,
he's a force of evil. He's not really like
anything.
he's not
Yeah.
really human. He's not basically they're saying he's not human and he's not a demon, but he's like pure evil. But however way that however way people go with that. But Wesker, I'm gonna say one of his powers is either gonna be he can down you in I mean, have they said anything about Wesker's abilities in there?
No, not really. We just
Okay,
have
so
everything
my
as possible.
my speculation to that, because I'm not sure how much you know about the Resident Evil series. Either he can down you in one hit, or he's gonna be running after you really fast.
So what's
Like,
going to happen is it's going to be based off of because you know about what Nemesis has in DBD with the T virus. I think it has something to do with the T virus, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
yeah, because Wesker in that series, he juiced himself up, so he became like the ultimate humanoid in that game, in those series on there. And he became like the overall like arching villain. And I have to admit with you, when I was playing against a nemesis during one match, I was scared to death running away from that thing.
Yeah, but I think behavior is going to capitalize off of the T virus again. Like I was saying earlier, I think they're going to do something with him with the T virus with Nemesis. I'm curious to see how they do this, and also they're fixing RPD. If you saw in my video,
Mhm.
they're throwing chairs and junk around to close up the map. So I'd be kind of like interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, one of these days you and me have to like I can actually show you right on here today a few of the Resident Evil stuff of like to give you an idea how it is in the game. I mean, if you see RPD, it's like pretty good, it's pretty again, it's creepy when you play the game. It's like every corner is like zombies, and then because I played the old Resident Evil 98 version, and when they did the remake, it was jaw-droppingly amazing. Although I do know for killers, it's one of the worst maps you could possibly ever be on.
Oh yeah, it's very annoying. It's just hold forward, hold W, pre-drop, got pouts here, 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 here. It's like yeah, I don't like it as killer. I hate it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it even more when they change it or they don't. Because it's again, we'll see what they do with it because it's gonna be a band-aid fix. So we're gonna see what they do with it. Because they knew after they put it in there that they made a mistake when they saw people complaining about it. They literally just took a live copy from the game Resident Evil itself and said, "Oh yeah, let me throw that in our game." They shouldn't have did that. It was that they shouldn't have built it from the ground up, in my opinion. But again, I'm not a game dev, so but I'm just saying is they should have just built it up from the ground up because the way it looks like in DBD, That's the same way it looks like in and Resident Evil, but what it did, they just had to throw a little flavor into it, but it's big. It's just too big for like Dead by Daylight.
Oh yeah, during the game, because I did play the game, and it does match RPD really well, except for the back area where the other trap is. But you got the second exit gate, but that's just how you got to upgrade for a game. But yeah, I was looking through it. I'm like, yep, that's accurate. That's accurate. That's accurate, and all that good stuff. But yeah, one of the things that really broke my heart with Resident Evil, because I'm not sure how much you've seen of it or played with it. Yeah, the Resident Evil in media has been going terribly.
Why has it been going terribly?
Oh well, I mean, the old ones with Mihova Jokovic or whatever her name is. She's Russian. Basically, the first one is okay. Second one's more like a Resident Evil, but after that, they were just kind of like, okay, we're gonna do whatever we feel like doing, and so they just made it about her. And once in a while, there's zombies in there, and then they kind of go like, the director would just go like, oh, this is from the games, so we're gonna put it in the games. So when when they put Leon in the fifth movie, I was like, you ruined him. You ruined it.
You ruined it.
Leon, because Leon's my boy. Leon's my boy.
Bowl cut? Yeah, bowl cut.
Oh, he's not a bowl cut. That is
Look at his hairstyle in DBD though. That's a bold cut.
No. If it was his full bangs, then it would be bowl cut. It's
No, I'm messing. Like I have again with these characters, I have no strings attached to them. I don't play Resident Evil.
Oh, believe me, dude. We have got again, like that is something like once you get into it, like here's the thing: if you play Resident Evil 4 alone, it was one of the best games ever. Like that's my number one game of all time.
Hell yeah.
Resident
But with that being said, we do have a leak though for chapter 26 for DBD if we're still on that. So it's a night. I can read the tweet out to you guys right now.
Nice.
This is coming from this is coming from Smackles. So who do we think is coming for chapter 26? He has a new video out. The night from Scooby-Doo, the night from looks like night from Game of Thrones, a night from something else. But I'll get into that later. But thing is, I wonder what it would be. What do you guys speculation? I think we get Scooby-Doo. I think Time Warner probably wants to license some stuff out. Maybe I don't know what this new CEO is like.
Well, I mean, now that you're speaking of that,
I bet I even hit my disc.
There's a lot of Warner Brothers news they just came out with.
Ooh,
interesting. And just like how the CEO, it seems like is doing fantastic. A lot of people aren't too happy that he's canceling a lot of stuff, but it's for the right reason.
Oh, yeah. It's like if it's not gonna make you money, why put the resources and money into it?
Because one of the things that they just talked about recently, because they just had their Warner Brothers conference call going on, where they actually like all the corporate people like talked about like this is what we're doing, and they're saying, okay, what the old people were doing in this company was shit. Like you guys were running it to the ground.
That's why they sold it, because they probably wasn't making money.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, we're gonna put everything on HBO Max. We want HBO Max to be successful. We want HBO Max to be successful. They were about to do a Wonder Twins movie. They were gonna do Batgirl for $100 million.
Batgirl for $100 million,
and they were gonna put that on streaming.
No, Batgirl. Yeah, Batgirl is big to a degree, but again, you have the three trilogies. You have the Superman, you have the Batman, and then you have Wonder Woman. Like those are the highest grossing characters alone.
Which that's what the old Warner Brothers wanted to get rid of that stuff, and they just wanted to say like, oh no, we're gonna give it to the new DC characters. We're gonna make
nobody would watch that or buy that.
Yeah. So when the new CEO came in there, he was like, "What are you guys doing? Like, what are you guys doing?" So he said, "No, we're canceling Batgirl because it's not good." They just straight up said,
how much money did they spend on it already?
It was a certain amount of money. Then it went up to $100 million.
So he lost some money. They lost some money essentially.
They wrote it off as a tax write-off.
Yep.
And people keep like a lot of people are going like, why would you cancel Batgirl? Why would you do that? All that stuff. He just put it straight out, said, listen, no offense to all the people who worked for us who made that movie, but it's not good.
No, and
And I'm
plus,
not
who's gonna buy it? Who will watch
and
it?
and we're not going to make something like we're not going to release something that isn't good. So
But now, if
that's
it's good, he probably would have released it if
yeah,
it was good. Yeah.
he full on just said that. Like, you know, he said, listen, if it was good, we put it out. But it's not. And it's not what we're planning on doing.
No, but then he
So,
canceled the Scooby Doo one
and
because of that
then
wasn't good either.
they looked at the Scooby Doo one. I feel, and I'm sorry to say this, Sierra, but it was not good either.
I know it wasn't good. Like I'm
It's
fine with it.
like,
I'll be okay.
and they were almost done the movie too. They even like the people who made it were like saying, "Oh no, we were basically done." And he just looked at it and said, "It's not good. We're
Get rid
not
of
re-
it.
we're not releasing it." So they now did all the conference calls and they did say, "Okay, these are the things we're going to focus on now." They are going to cancel HBO Max. They're going to shut that down. Um, as of right now, I think HBO basically the idea what they're going to do is they're going to try to combine all their streaming services into one
Okay.
because they have HBO Max, HBO, I think HBO Go, then HBO something else, and then Discovery Plus. And they even said this, like the CEO said this. He says, if we combine them all together in operating costs alone, we will save $3 billion.
Yeah. So this guy, so he's a CEO for Discovery and his new his new um his new acquired Warner Brothers, correct?
Yes, he is the CEO of that.
Okay. So his
And
board of directors is the ones that overtop of him.
then he even hired old Disney chairman. Not
Yeah,
I don't think
and Warner
chairman.
Brothers, Warner
Yeah,
Brothers employee too.
yeah. He used to be. It was Alan Horn. He used to be
Yeah.
at Warner Brothers. Then Disney bought him, and then he went into retirement. And then now the new CEO went back to him and said,
Help
"Listen,"
me.
he says, can you come over here and give some good advice on what to do?"
Oh yeah, and then he's going to help them. So the fact this, I liked what the CEO is doing. He's not canceling Scooby Doo altogether. He knows that there was a market for. Again, people have realized businesses are in business to make money. This is the reason why Warner Brothers has been around for so long. So the fact is, he knows that Scooby Doo will still bring him a profit, but just not that movie. That's why they canceled it because
Yeah,
it was crap.
because
It's like,
I think they talked about they even showed in their PowerPoint presentation all the companies that they do own, like all the big ones that they own, which is like I think Warner Brothers itself, like the corporate one, who makes all the stock trades and all that stuff. Then there's Warner Brothers Pictures, the people who make the movies.
yep,
Warner Brothers Animation, which is the
everything.
Scooby Doo logo, by the way.
Yep,
Um, DC finally got their own studio now.
awesome.
Um, and there was another one on there, and there was their HTV, like all the ones that Discovery uses. So they're clearly coming in there and saying, listen, guys, and a lot of people were crying, saying, oh, they're going to cancel all scripted content. Oh no, they're going to cancel
No,
all this stuff. They clearly came out and they said this. We're not doing that, but we are coming down on if it's not good, it ain't going out. So I mean, I really support the CEO.
same I do too. Because if it's not good, again, what Warner Brothers used to do is release shit like Vilma and Daphne. You remember that movie? Like what?
Yes. Mhm.
That was horrible.
Yeah, that was old.
Horrible.
That was AT&T Warner. That was AT&T Warner Brothers who were like,
That was
"Oh yeah,
horrible.
this would be a good movie for for the girls." It's like
It,
I don't think anybody liked that movie.
no, because you can't do Scooby Doo without Scooby Doo. I'm just saying is at least they're not going to cancel the franchise. The CEO knows what Scooby Doo franchise brings. Again, I know we're adults. I know I still like Scooby Doo, but it's like he knows the CEO is very smart. He has common sense. He knows that Scooby Doo will still sell to an older audience that watched it when they was a kid. He knows it will sell to the younger audience that is now, and then maybe middle audience between like 13 to 18 years old, maybe if they're interested or they grew up on it when they was younger. Again, I think that's the market for Scooby Doo. I don't know. You could tell me if I'm wrong or right there, but what do you think about that
I
statement there,
mean,
Hunter?
the way that they're gonna probably do it because they saw their animation department.
Yep.
Most likely, what they're gonna do is they're just gonna, again, the new CEO as of right now, because again, he's talking all this big stuff. Let's just hope he can stick with it. If he says, listen, if it's a good story and it's a good product, we'll get it made.
I like that.
But if it's not good, like if somebody comes up to you and just says, hey, let's make another movie, they're like, okay, what's the story? They're like, I don't know, but we got, it's this franchise, so let's go make this movie. He goes, no, like if you don't have a story for me, which apparently from what I've heard, again, so just what I'm hearing, he's going to be the CEO who basically says, listen, we're not hiring, this little person who made this little, this little thing right here. And it by numbers wise says, oh, well, this person made television, so they must be really good at making movies. Or this person is really good at this part, so we'll give them this. They actually want to say, okay, can you do the job? And if you can't do the job and you can't present a good story to us, you're not going to, you're not going to be doing something that is going to cost us $100 million to go make.
No, but I wonder if he would still do things like small filmmakers that come out with something that maybe might like that he might throw like maybe 100, like $1,000, like a $1,000 too. Because I know some companies would do that. They'll be like, yeah, we won't give you 100 million. We do like the story. We do want to produce it, but you only get like not even half
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
just remind me. New Line. That's
Yeah.
that New Line. That's their. I think that's their other department.
Oh yeah,
Who
that's right. New Line. That's
New
probably what
Line.
New Line does.
New Line
Yeah.
Cinema. I think New Line is the one who handles that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're going by a philosophy of, if it's not good, we ain't making it.
And we ain't buying it if you have if it's coming from you. Like we're not buying. Like filmmakers come over and say, "Hey, I got the script." They're like, "Okay, I like it, but I don't love it. I like it because that's this CEO seems like he's kind of he's like, if he likes something, he has to love it for him to throw money at you. That's what it sounds like to me. That he's like, hey, I like it, I don't love it. So
Yep.
with that being said, you're not getting a job.
Yep. And then he did say for DC, he did say that he said, yes, we're gonna make movies. We probably said this on a podcast before, but he said directly, he said, it's going to be Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. These are our big guys. Let's make movies about these guys. Like, and also they even said he even bit the bullet, and something that any like snooty DC fan will probably say, like when he said like, listen, because he went like, listen, we're gonna make a 10-year plan like Marvel, and we're gonna do it like that. And to a lot of snooty DC fans, they go like, oh no, they're copying that. They're copying Marvel, all that
What?
stuff.
No, it's
But
just business.
and
It's
he's looking at it and says, listen, does it work?
yeah,
Did they make a $2 billion movie out of it?
yeah, yeah.
So why would we not do that?
Plus, Discovery put money into Warner Brothers. They bought actual Warner Brothers and all their properties. So they have, I don't know how much that sold for. 100. Do you know how much that they sold for?
I think like I'm probably guessing off the top of my head, or about like 36 billion or something like that.
Yeah, they are 36 billion. Discovery is in the hole, so they need to somehow make that back. So that's why he's doing that, because he needs to. His job as CEO is to make that money back. He just purchased. I guess board of directors obviously has to sign off on it, but he bought the whole Warner Brothers and all the departments. So he's 36 billion, guys. Remember that. 36 billion. How much? You know how much money that is? 36 billion in the hole right now that he needs to get back, and then some. He needs at least probably what? He needs to triple that. So probably like what? $56 billion to just get his money back from the 36 billion that they spent to buy everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Let me actually see what the original number
okay.
was here. But he from how he's saying it, again, how he's saying it is that how he said it, he's sounding very confident, saying, listen, we ain't making bad movies. Like we're not
Nope.
gonna we're not gonna make content that we're not proud to show out.
I agree with that. And
Yeah,
as a content creator, as myself and yourself, I respect that.
yeah. Um, 43 billion.
43 billion. Still, it doesn't matter. That's a lot of money. He has to make is not so he bought Warner Brothers and all their properties for $34 billion. This guy that is the CEO of now Warner Brothers, but is the CEO of Discovery. So it's
Yeah.
like
So
he has to get that back.
yeah, so he's being smart with it.
He has to do the $34 billion in the hole. The board of directors don't hear this shit. I think they'll probably push him to do it, or he's just doing this free will. I don't know how some of these corporation works with their CEO, but CEO doesn't have all the strings that people think they do. They have to answer to the people above them. Oh yeah, you could be CEO, but you got people up above them, like board of directors or the boss of you.
Yeah,
You're just a scapegoat at that point.
because the CEO of Disney right now, he's the exact opposite. He's being the guy who says, "Well, it makes money, so let's release it."
Yeah,
Like that's how he's acting with his properties right now.
the
Guess
thing
what?
is,
And guess what? Disney is going down now
oh yeah,
because people are going like, the stuff is not that good, you know. Like a lot of people can probably sit here and say, "Oh no, but this is good. Oh no, but this is
Bob
good."
Iger's out. Bob Iger was good. Bob Iger is out.
Yeah,
Right. Bob Iger is no
he
longer
stepped
there.
down. Like Bob
Yep.
Iger stepped down, and he gave it to Bob Chapek,
And
and
he's doing a
even Bob I
shitty job.
and now even Bob Iger himself said, "I kind of regret that deal. Like I kind of regret that."
Exactly, because it's like he's again, the board of directors will get sick of it at the while. Like the board of
Oh no,
directors will let you do so much.
they went up on his contract again. Oh, and the thing was that here's a rumor going on too.
Oh my
The
god.
guy who was supposed to replace him as CEO, he
Yeah.
fired
Ooh. Ooh.
because I guess he heard that they weren't going to re-up his deal and they were going to hire the other guy.
Yeah.
So he went out and fired him so he wouldn't lose his job.
Oh my god. So yeah, so again, this is gonna go down the hill. I just think that the board of directors need to get this guy out that replaced Bob Iger, and start fresh.
Yep, Bob Chapek. Yeah,
Yeah, drop page. Yeah.
I know there's two Bobs.
Yeah. Hey Bob. Hey Bob. Yeah.
Oh, and apparently they don't like each other. They don't even talk to each other.
Well, let's see here. This Bob that replaced Iger, he sucks.
Yeah, apparently they do not like each other so much that even because Bob Iger is the chairman, so he's still one of the board of directors. But apparently they don't even like try to communicate with each other because they're like that.
Can he get the CEO job back? Can Bob Iger get it back, or that's written in stone that he can't come back?
It's one of those things that I'm pretty sure if he pushed for it, he could do it, but he's retired twice already from Disney. So I think this time he's like,
I'm done.
It's like, I kind of want to help, but I've retired twice.
Yeah.
Can you just let me like?
And he's still board he's still board of directors of Apple, right?
Good question. I think he's on the board of directors.
Yeah, I think he's board of directors of Apple too. But yeah, that's sad. That's sad that Disney needs to take what Warner Brothers, I should say Discovery Warner is doing. So yeah.
Yep. So for which it's funny that Warner Brothers is actually changing and becoming more successful where Disney's going down.
Good. Yeah, I
fuck
Disney. I'm sorry anybody here that likes Disney, but fuck Disney. I don't like Disney. I stopped liking Disney after I grew up, and I know it's like people be like, "Well, Aaron, why you like Disney?" We can't talk on this channel about it just because it's just too shady stuff that goes on with Disney back in the past, especially in the early 2000s. I don't want to get into that because it goes down a dark path, and I don't want to talk about it. But I'm just saying, Disney was not good. Now, if you guys in the future would like to hear about the dark days of Disney, I will make another YouTube channel. Me and Hunter, if me and Hunter wants to do it, we can do research on it. But only if you guys would like to hear it, we can do the dark days of Disney. Where just know it can get dark to where YouTube be like, yeah, no, we're not gonna push that. So keep that in mind. But I'm just saying,
I would say get this video to 10 likes and we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. Like, if you guys can get this video to 10 likes, we will do a video on the darkest days of Disney, to where you guys know all things that happened, what the Disney side was hiring people that was doing wrong for things, and we get down to the nitty gritty, down to the meat and potatoes. But yeah, 10 likes, we'll do it.
Oh yeah, cause you know, I'm because Disney for me, I mean, we've talked about it in previous episodes before of like, how I feel Disney really went downhill. They kind of not
Wish I
what
never had
they
my favorite franchise in Star Wars. Wish I never bought that, dude. They just ruined it so much.
yeah, they got plenty of those guys. Like again, just going over it, Marvel, Disney, well, no, Marvel, Fox, a lot of stuff. At this point they just kind of like own everything, and they kind of are in a situation where they just don't really care anymore about like, oh, we have to make good quality content. It's just like, guys, we own literally everything.
But
Why
they
do we
can
have to?
lose everything. But because if they
Oh, they
can't
can.
keep the money up, they're gonna have to sell some of these properties back to somebody else. Like they have to sell these properties either to Universal or to Discovery Warner, or they're gonna
Like,
have to.
like they
Yeah.
like they're in a situation at this point where they're just kind of like, if we don't want to make quality content, we don't have to. Because again, it's like, what are you guys gonna do? Boycott us? You know that we have all these properties for you.
But
So it's like, and again, it sucks. Like it really does.
no,
It's
but the shareholders, people have to realize that people can stop buying shares, or the stock on Disney could just does Disney understand how stock works? Because I guess they don't. But the fact is, Disney could just go downhill one day with stock, and there you go. All the investors lose everything. That means they're not going to invest in your company anymore. Because
oh
the
yeah.
the people like us are not putting money into you anymore,
Yeah,
because we hate your shit content.
because I only subscribe to HBO Max. That's the only thing I subscribe to, and YouTube, of course.
I
And
don't pay for none of that stuff.
I don't do Disney Plus. I don't do ESPN. I don't do Hulu. I don't do
Yeah,
any of.
Disney owns all that, I think.
Yep, they own ESPN. They own Hulu. They own Disney Plus,
Why did the
obviously.
government let them do that? Like, because that's just pretty much a thing to where it is not like what they
They
call.
the government agreed to that.
I disagree with that, because it's
Yeah,
like you don't get options. It's owned by the same company.
yeah. Basically, like I think their defense is like, well, there's still Warner Brothers out there, Universal still out there, Paramount's still out there,
Yeah, and
Netflix.
and this is a company. I mean, this is the government. You're right.
They're going like, okay, well, you still have competition, but if you
I,
really look on the outside, you're going
it's
like,
it's really not.
do you really?
Yeah, do you really like? Because they pretty much say we own ESPN, we own Hulu, we own Disney Plus, Avi, we own this, we own that, we own Star Wars, we own this, we own
Like
that. Like, dude.
like like when you watch sports, because Aaron, I know you're a very big sports fan. You're a Cowboys fan. I know that.
No, I'm a Panthers fan. Stop
Oh,
stop lying to the
oh
stop
no,
lying to the
oh no,
audience.
he's a Cowboys fan, and he's on the right team,
Guys, he's lying to you. Anybody knows me knows I'm a Carolina Panther fan since
But
2005.
if you were to go watch sports, where are you gonna watch this? Where are you gonna watch it at?
ESPN, because that's where the biggest thing is. But
Yep.
I but what I do is I like to watch NFL Network now, because it's like I'm not trying to give Disney shit. I haven't watched ESPN in a long time. Ever since I became a streamer, so it's been over almost 4 years. Like if I watch anything NFL related, it's NFL Network, which is not owned by Disney.
Right. I hope you got not.
No, NFL Network is owned by the NFL.
I mean, like,
I
I mean,
mean, I
uh,
mean,
I
it says it
mean,
in its name, NFL Network.
if it does, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna look at that, and I said there. Okay, owner. Yep, National Football League. Yep, they're their own company. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
'Cause I
I
was
don't
gonna say,
watch Disney stuff. I
I
don't
was
hardly watch Disney stuff.
scared for a second. I was like, wait a second, let me actually check that out first.
Yeah, you good. I'm glad that you checked that before you actually confirmed that. That was
Because at that
nice.
point, we have to go like, Aaron, listen, those sports channels you've been watching.
Yeah, you got to break it to you. Disney owns all of them. Yeah, no, I still think that the government should not let Disney do what they did. Like Star Wars, like you don't really have. Do they really have competition? Let's see here. Paramount,
Um,
Universal, and Time Warner Brothers. Like, what do they have other than maybe Warner Brothers? I'll say probably the biggest threat, because they do have the big three, which is DC Comics.
so yeah,
With
so Warner Brothers has
those,
DC.
yep.
Paramount has basically Tom Cruise,
Wow,
because he
whoop de
made Top
doo.
Gun Maverick. They own Nickelodeon. They own uh They own a few more other stuff. I'm trying to think of that.
Yep, and then
Um,
Universal owns the Jurassic World, the Jurassic Park series.
Same thing.
That's yeah, same
The
thing.
Fast and the Furious, which I think
Yeah.
we talked about before, how much they're spending on the Fast and the Furious 10.
10 movies, guys. 10. I haven't seen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Have
I
not
mean,
seen that.
the only thing that I'm really curious about now is the the only one that I kind of want to see is the James Wan version because
Maybe.
he did one and apparently it was the best one.
Oh, I love one. I saw one before Hunter. Like I like one. I just think that they should have stopped. It's just like beating an old dead horse. It's like you're milking an old cow that's is not have not moved in years. Why are we up to almost 11 Fast and the Furious movies? Like holy shit! You
Oh
should
yeah,
end. You
I
should end
guess.
it at 3. It should end
Yeah,
at 3. Like come on. Or should even end at 2. In my opinion, I don't think Fast and Furious should have been multiple movies. And maybe 1 or 2, if that. That's
three
just my
hundred
opinion.
million dollars.
Dude, SMH, and it's probably gonna go up from there.
Oh yes, it's gonna go up from there because that's not even include marketing. That's not even
Nope.
including all
Universal's probably like, what the hell, dude?
like apparently because apparently they have in their contracts that they pay everybody just like big bucks just to make this, and every day they're not filming, they have to pay $1 million.
I wonder when Universal's gonna say, not enough is enough.
I'm pretty sure if they go like over schedule at this point, they're gonna be like, okay, what the hell are you guys doing?
Right? If the CEO should be pouring his hair out right now, he's like, bro, what's going on? And we're already like what
Now,
$300 million in the hole, not plus marketing. You're not even done yet. We've been on what schedule for like I don't know, like maybe a year. I don't know. This is me pouring it out of my ass because I don't know. But it's like maybe they've been on there. They maybe it's supposed to be out in 2023. It's like it's 2023 is right around the corner, guys. What's going on?
yep, and yeah, that's just well, I mean, to be fair, is that they just came out with Christopher Nolan's new trailer for his new movie,
Oh, he signed
Oppenheimer.
with Universal, right? He
He
signed
went
with
to
Universal.
Universal after Warner Brothers screwed him, in his eyes screwed him over.
Okay.
Um, and I like it because it's again, it looks in black and white. So that trailer came out, and so I think they're a little bit more calm because they have Christopher Nolan on their team. Um,
But still,
but I'm pretty sure in the future they're gonna be like, "Hey, we want to make a $300 million movie." They're like, "It's like, what are you smoking?" But yeah, they did. You know, the movie industry is a definitely like it gets
it's hard.
crazier every day.
Oh yeah.
And then and then last thing with Warner Brothers, Flash, they did say that they are officially going to put in. Well, I mean, they confirmed this, but he continues to say this, like, yes, we're going to put Flash in theaters even after all of Ezra Miller's situation.
So Ezra Miller's still gonna be in it. They're still gonna put it in there. He just
They,
not getting no more jobs from him, I guess.
oh no, he's basically fired.
No, but they will put this movie with him in it,
Yeah,
and that's it.
which I just again we probably talked about this before, but I'm just very much like they should just come out and say, listen, what Ezra Miller's been doing, we're not behind that. So we
Ezra
do.
Miller fucked his career up. The
Oh,
Flash would have made him. It would have made him.
again, he would have made again. He was making millions of dollars doing this franchise.
Yep.
They had the
And,
director of It in there, which is a great director.
yep.
They brought back Michael Keaton to be
Michael.
Batman.
Yeah. And then again, like I said, they probably would have made like other Flash movies because who knows, probably a show on top of that. So he was getting a lot of fame from it.
And they just canceled the Flash show, by the way.
Wish they did have the show, and
Which
he was going to be in
which,
it.
to be fair, like here's something funny, and this will make you laugh a little bit, probably. When they did the Flash show,
That's right. They did have. They did have a show.
on the first episode, they said, we're now going to make a Flash movie with Ezra Miller. That was 9 years ago.
Dang.
Like,
He's been Flash for 9 years.
He's been like Grant Gustin, who's been playing the Flash on TV, has been the Flash for 9 years. And the guy who they were supposed to make a movie out, they're haven't even put that movie out just yet. So yeah, that whole, like, I just hope that Warner Brothers, are doing what they're saying.
No, I do believe that because if one, this new CEO can't be put into a negative light. So what's going to happen is, seems like he has a head on the show. Seems like they're going to have to find somebody that can replace in my opinion, I never liked Ezra Miller's Flash. Anyways, that's
That's
just me
fair.
personally. Like I don't that's just me personally. Anybody can have their own opinion, but I don't think he was a good Flash. Personally, like honestly, I don't know how you feel about it, but he never was good in my perspective.
I didn't mind. I was just kind of like, okay, he's a Flash, but I totally get it. Yeah, for me, the Flash was he was okay. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but I wasn't going like eh. Um, but yeah, that once that movie's done, yeah, he's done, and I'm pretty sure after they put out,
Is he getting royalties from it or no?
I'm pretty sure not.
Okay.
Apparently Kevin Spacey, and this might go into Flash too if this happens, because this keeps that goes along with what you were just saying. That Kevin Spacey, who was on House of Cards back in the day, apparently because of his scandals, um, his whole entire behind the scenes drama, he had to pay $36 million to them, to the people who made House of Cards, because they were saying you screwed over our show. Like, you made our show go from 18 episodes to 8 episodes,
Oh
and
shit.
we had to rewrite your character. We had to rewrite everything, and you know our viewership went down because of you. So he had to pay. So apparently he has to pay $36 million. So I'm pretty sure once Ezra Miller, like if the movie does not turn out good, like it only makes $200 million, which good lord if it does, I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers will take that thing and say, go to him and say, you're gonna owe us money because of this, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, they haven't said he's officially fired, but everybody with the right common sense knows he's fired.
Oh yeah, they're not hiring him again.
No, he's fired.
Like
But I'm just saying this,
I'm pretty sure he's a guy who would come out and say, "Hey, why is nobody giving me roles anymore?" I'm like,
bro. What do you mean? Like, I don't get into he has done some other fucked up shit, but I don't want to like talk about it. But it's like, let's start for one, getting drunk in public and I don't know, causing a scene. That's or I
threw a
believe
chair at
that's
somebody,
yeah, yep,
broke in and stole people's passports, all that good
yep.
stuff on there. It was
Do we should we continue, Ezra? Why I'm not getting any more roles? What do you mean,
like,
dude?
if he was to come out and go like, he tries to do a campaign to say, "Hey, why let me get my career back up and running." I'll be like,
No,
I don't know what you've been smoking lately, but
nobody's gonna hire you, man. You come with baggage. You have done some pretty not good things in the past. I'll be shocked if a big label um producer will give him another chance, a
like
second
Kevin
chance.
Spacey only like, apparently Kevin Spacey's the only role he's been getting lately was there was an Italian movie, or it was a Spanish movie or an Italian movie that hired him as like an extra.
Yeah, like he doesn't get any more. Like, see, again, within the movie industry, guys, you don't want to screw the big dogs because they will end your career. They all talk. I guarantee you, they all talk. The Universal, Warner Brothers, um, who else? Well, whoever else is other big companies out there. I guarantee you, they talk with one another. They're competition with one
Oh yeah,
another.
again,
I guarantee you, they share actors and act and all that on who's the good and who's doing this. I guarantee it that they talk.
oh yeah. Well, it was the best example I could probably talk about with competition between different studios is mainly that it goes from listen, you gotta be friends with your enemies sometimes,
Yep.
because the thing is, if you guys fail, because again, we can go back to a good example is Apple and Microsoft. Back in the 90s, Microsoft owned everything essentially. I mean, Apple was still out there, but they owned
Apple
three
wasn't
percent.
as big
They owned less than 3% of the market
at that time.
at
Yes.
that time, and Microsoft, was dominating to the point that the government did go up to them and say, "Hey, you actually own a lot of stuff right now. We're gonna need you to break all that stuff up." And so when Steve Jobs went up to Bill Gates, he was like, "Listen, you need some competition out here. And if Microsoft wins, like if Apple goes down and because there were 3 months until they went bankrupt.
Mhm.
Um, once they said, if Apple goes down, you have no more competition whatsoever. So now you got to sell your stuff off because of how big you are. So Microsoft, so Bill Gates gave them money for Apple to get back on their feet, and now they, that competition they were in. Are we gonna lie and say Microsoft and Apple are not in competition?
They are, but I'm just saying this. I'm glad that Bill Gates did that. The fact is, if that happened, hold on, let's do an alternate universe right now. Apple goes down. Okay, 3 months. Bill Gates refused. Okay, he's like, I'm not helping you guys. Screw you, Steve. And everything went downhill. Does that mean since Microsoft was so big that they will had to sell stuff off because they can't continue making money because people what they people can't choose, you know what I'm saying? Because that's you can lose money, correct? With that, because people can't choose on what they want at that point,
It
correct?
becomes legally it's because
Yeah.
the US government, at least, in other countries it's different. Like it's usually the government has their own version of what it is, and you kind of have to go by that. But the US government is like, we don't want you to become a monopoly, because the idea is, let's just say you just like it's like, if I go up to this, if there's only one company who sells a computer,
Yep.
they don't, like, you can't buy computer parts, you can't buy anything. And they decided, you know what, you know, you're using our computers. We're going to charge you every time you turn on our computer. They're going then you probably go like, no, I don't want to do that. They would be like, what you going to do about it? You can't go anywhere else. You can't go to anybody else on there. Or if they get rid of a feature that you like or something like that, you're gonna be like, well, I don't like that. It's like, well, what you gonna do? So the government tries to at least try to say, you can't be that powerful. You got to
So
get people.
that's what Microsoft was becoming at the time, was that powerful then.
The government just like keeps everything separate enough to a point that if that were to happen, you do have an option to go somewhere else. That you can't, like, no company could be the only ones out there who do it.
That's why when Steve went to Bill and was like, dude, if we go down, you're kind of screwed, because at the same time it's like nobody's going to purchase your stuff because it's gonna be like you're the only person. So they would have went down too. If Apple would have went down, I'm thinking what would happen in an alternate universe. Microsoft probably went down at the while, because Microsoft could have done so much. They could have got so powerful, Hunter, like you said, and said, this is what I'm going to charge you on some ridiculous stuff. And the consumer was going to be like, nah, I ain't paying for that shit. They kept losing customers, and then they go down.
I mean,
So,
like, what I mean, the
yeah.
question is, what else are we gonna do?
No, right.
Like,
Bill could have said no. He could have said, no, Steve, I'm not helping you. Fuck
because
you.
he could have said
Yeah.
no. They would have separated the companies up. He would have probably separated the companies. Although I think secretly he would have just like had like an underground, like, technically we bought your company, but we're not going to say that it's part of our company. So then technically it would have been all, you know, all in one. But it would have been like it just would have been like, it would have been Microsoft, but then it'd be like Microsoft Light or something like that, which is like technically owned by another company, but it's technically still, Microsoft, that type of thing. So that
So they
way,
would have to split everything up, and he will be in competition with himself. Bill Gates would have been correct. It
yeah,
would have been. I
it
mean,
probably would. It just probably would have been like that. I'm pretty sure.
oh yeah, and
Um,
he didn't want that. Obviously, Bill.
so
Obviously,
that's why there's like, that's why there's other operating system. That's why, it's Apple versus that, which even Apple guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure they got away from it nowadays, but Apple guys, Apple does have a team within their company who actually work with Microsoft directly, who say, listen, you guys do great software, but this is what we're doing right here, so that if we need to, it can work with you guys. Like on my Windows computer that we're recording on right now, I can get my iCloud drive on here.
yeah.
I
So
get my
Apple and Microsoft work together more than people think that they don't. Again, the iPhone 10, when they went to the large screen display, I think the glass itself was from Microsoft
it was from Samsung.
or Samsung or whatever. One of these Androids or whatever. So the fact is, Apple does work with the competition. That's the point of the segment here, guys. Competition always works with the competition.
Yeah, they're very much like, because there's a lot of people out there who go like, oh no, we have to be in competition with each other. Like, and because even Steve Jobs perfectly said it. He said, if the goal was for Apple to win, Microsoft has to lose, then it's not, then Apple's going to lose.
Yeah, it's not a
because
win-win situation. That's why Bill Gates is like, I'll give you the money, Steve, so Apple can get back on your feet, get back on the feet,
yeah,
so you guys can survive.
because
Because yeah,
even if there was like a small like competition in there, guess what? It's still competition.
right, right. And what year was this, Hunter? Was this in the early 2000s? Right,
90s.
it was the 90s. Okay,
I think
this
it
is
was like 93.
93. So this is when the government went to Bill, then Steve probably came up to. I think I wonder if they both probably. I wonder if the government talked to Steve Jobs about
No,
saying, "Hey,
I'm pretty sure not.
no, he put him. He just come up to
He just
him."
because the thing was, Steve was brought. For anybody who doesn't know about the story, so Steve Jobs, he got fired from Apple, and then Wynn made his own company next, which wasn't doing as best as he wanted it to do. Um, but then when Apple was going down, like Apple, like to give you an idea, people, of how it was back in the 90s, for everybody who doesn't know, Apple was like going bad. Like they were making bad products altogether. Like there was only one product they made, was the Apple II, was the only thing that was making money for them. So at that point, Apple was just going down, down, down to a point they were 3 months away from going bankrupt. So the new CEO of Apple went up to Steve and said, "Hey, listen, we need help. Like, we need help. Can you can I bring you on as an advisor so you can help us get our feet back up?" So I eventually he got himself up to CEO, or interim CEO, where he was only going to be a CEO for a little time. And he went up to everybody and said, "Guys, what's the problem with our products? They suck. They're not good. They're not like, there's no sex to them." Actually, his words. So he said, "Okay, we're scrapping everything." And he put a square up and he said, "These are what we're going to do. We're going to make a desktop, and we're going to make a laptop. We're going to make one for the home, one for the one for the business, one for, and then for the laptop too, one for the home, one for the business." And that was his plan. We're only going to make 4 products. That's it. Well, of course, Apple's going down. They have no money. So he had to go up to, and he said, "Okay, where am I going to get the money from?" And Bill Gates was like, well, again, Bill Gates making a bunch of moolah out there. He went up, he said, he has the money. I have his number. Let's go make this right. So he went up to Bill and said, "You know what, Bill, Apple's failing. You need competition. Can you help out?" Bill said yes. And there was a whole contract deal, what was going on there, of how much stake they got and all that good stuff. And for the first, I think, 2 years, I think it was, um, Apple's, like the Apple computer, the iMac, the operating system, well, the Internet Explorer that I used was Internet Explorer, and Microsoft Office was automatically installed onto the iMacs. So it gave you an idea, like, they needed to help them get up and on their feet. And then eventually they kind of went on their own. Now, was it Apple's now a $3 trillion company?
Yep. And guys, this story is all based on Bill Gates that's saying, "Hey, I didn't want to split up my company," and said, "Yes, I'll help out Steve and Apple." So when they first started, the deal was obviously, like you were saying, Hunter, like Hunter was saying, that the deal probably was you had to start our things on your PC at first. So I guarantee you that Steve had to pay back Bill Gates on the money that he invested. Was like what, over $100 million, I think, Hunter, that he invests into Apple to get them back on their feet. I believe so.
It's probably around like that.
Yeah. So, but he obviously had to pay Bill back, and then they got like probably on sweeter deal was you had to start Microsoft Office on your PCs, which you just said was the Apple II, until they got on their feet, and then I guarantee you they got stock, or I guarantee maybe Bill
Oh no,
has stock
they had
in Apple now.
Bill had um he had a certain amount of stock, but it was non-voting stock.
Not voted stock.
And
Okay.
then the funny thing is he sold it right away.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, if he would have kept that money, I think he would have made like $200 million off that stock,
Oh yeah, he could have.
or if not more.
He could have. He doesn't like Apple. It sounds like so. It sounds like he maybe doesn't have any stock in Apple at all to this day. Maybe not. I don't know. I have no.
Bill
We have
nowadays, Bill nowadays, I don't think he cares because he
no.
has a lot of money. He's doing other stuff nowadays. Um, but yeah, back in the day, yeah, he was, it was very much Microsoft has to win, that type of mentality. We got to make something that everybody's going to want to use and everything, because back in the day, around the 90s, that's when the internet was starting to get popular.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
so that's why, and a lot, want a lot of office computers, because a lot of computers were like, the beige computers, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're
Definitely.
old, so it was like old beige computers, the old 4x3 computers that you would see at school.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm glad that Bill Gates decided to say, yeah, I'm going to help out this competition because I guess like we just got done saying, and it's already knew if he didn't, he would have had to split up his company.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure he did that for that reason. But yeah, like that. But it kind of gives you an idea of how corporate structure works. Of
Oh
like
yeah.
why
That was good.
you want to at least have competition. Of even though you're in competition with somebody else, you shouldn't think of them as an enemy,
As a friend.
but you should think of it as a distant friend.
Yeah, I should say like a friend. Goes with streaming. Like again, I don't do anything for clout. My viewers know that. Like I have a lot of friends, or quote unquote, what do you call it? Uh, people that I talk to that stream like I do, stream the same game that I do. If you think about it, that's competition for me. Imagine if I didn't have that competition and I got all the viewers, all the viewers, that wouldn't be fun, right?
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
if it, if every if everybody wanted to be like, because again, like in my industry, when I come across a cinematographer, like somebody else who shoots movies, and they go up to them, so they come up to me, like if I see them, a lot of people will say, like have the idea of like, well, I don't like you because you're in the exact same industry. I'm not going to tell you anything because of that. It's like, listen, I want you to succeed because I know how hard it is. But the best part is, if I need to collaborate with you, you know, I know I can collaborate.
Exactly.
It's
That's yeah. You don't want to burn your bridges.
like if one day I get hired on a job, I'm like, I'm guessing, I'm just spitting out stuff like here. And I was like, well, I need some like handheld shots. Well, I know this one cinematographer who can do great handheld shots, who I can get them on like on a B cam or something like that. But it's like, oh man, I already burned the bridge and all that good stuff. Guess what? I can't hire him. And now the movie has to like, we got to figure out somebody else.
Right. So
Where,
that's what I'm saying. Well, if you're good friends with them, you can hire them.
doesn't mean like, it doesn't mean I'll,
You got
if
to
I,
like them.
doesn't mean like if I, it doesn't mean like I'll be throwing them jobs left and right. I mean, I'm going to try to get jobs myself, but if they're, I'm not gonna, if there's another cinematographer and he's like, because I lost out on plenty of jobs. I'm pretty sure you have too.
Yeah.
Um, whenever somebody else gets a job, I'm like, great, you know.
I lost out on some viewers if you want to count that. Yeah, I do have lost some viewers because of reasons, but it's like it happens. Like that's one thing when it comes to in the industry that you're at. You're gonna have enemies. You're gonna have what they call frenemies, by enemies, but people that you may not like, people that you do like, or whatever. But if hey, you don't want to burn that bridge on what you're trying to do, because again, they could have your mind. Like for example, somebody would come and say, "Hey, do you know somebody?" Blah blah blah, and they'd be like, "I matter of fact, I do." So and so, I did a job for them like 2 years ago, and now this big movie company producer is on them is saying, because maybe they might again. There's some nice people in the world that would be like, "Hey, I don't know how to do that thing that you're talking about." In film, but I know this guy named Hunter that can do it because he's really good at it. So yeah, here's his contact information. Next thing Hunter's getting a call from this producer, where if Hunter burned the bridge with this guy, he'll be like, maybe give him one of the other friends that knew how to do it or whatever, and not think of Hunter as the first choice because he burned that bridge. That's the prime example right there.
Yeah, I'm just more, it's always like very, especially when you're in industry and like it's know who your competition is,
Yep.
but don't shoot, don't feel like in order for me to win, they have to lose.
No, it's no
There's a lot.
winning or losing and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you just got to think what's the best part for you. I now, to be fair, there's other CEOs who are more like billionaires who go like, oh no, you have to think that way. You have to think
That's wrong though.
like we have to be, you have to know your enemies and take them down as soon as you can. But it's very much, if you do that, it's again, the idea is you may put yourself in a bad spot, and now you're like, well, now we're screwed, you know, that type of thing. And so I think the moral of that story is just, don't hate your enemies, just be aware of your enemies. Like,
Uh,
be
uh,
aware of who your competition is, and then, be able to work with them.
yep, if you need to.
Yes.
Yep. So again, going. But yeah, that was definitely a good story. That's one of my favorite stories ever, guys. Is the Steve Jobs and Bill Gates story. That's a prime example of how two different worlds can work together to help one get on their feet.
Yeah. Steve Jobs is one of my favorite stories on there.
Yeah, I do like Steve Jobs'
I
story.
always love his mentality. Was he the best person in the world? No.
No,
Was he the nicest person in the world? No.
no.
But he had a thing, what he wants to do is he wanted to make sure that Apple was the best company of all time that you could do. And it's one of the biggest things which a lot of companies don't really stick to nowadays is, again, going back to Warner Brothers on there, is you want to make great content or great product or anything you do, you want to make the best you possibly can, because if you don't, it's going to really affect your product, like how people view you. You know, it's very important that you go in there and make sure your quality is good. Now, are you be best friends with everybody for doing it? No. Is it the most easiest thing to do? No. But guess what? It's something you need to do if you want to be successful.
Yep.
And sometimes,
And now Tim Cook, if you think about it, has made some successful moves with Apple over the last 11 years, because I think Steve's been gone for 11 years. He died in 2011, so this is almost 2023. So it's almost been 12 years. So he's been CEO of Apple for what, 11, 12 years. So look at the products that Tim has done ever since then. He really put Apple in a great position after Steve died and he took over.
yep. And he doesn't, he tries to say, like, I'm not Steve, but
Nope.
I have to do things the best I possibly can. And argue with it, yes, or, you could probably argue with it and
I like
saying,
Tim
well,
Cook.
of course, he's awesome. He's amazing. And, a lot of people can argue and say, like, oh no, he makes crap. He makes crap. I'm like, but look at Apple, what they do when they make crap. They say, we're sorry. We're going to go fix it.
They do fix it.
They don't say it publicly, but they do, like, they try to show that they're
They
sorry.
ain't $3 trillion company for no reason. And
Yeah.
guess what? Tim Cook is part of the reason why they're $3 trillion. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah. Like, this is an example was the butterfly keyboards. You remember those?
Yeah.
Like, when they came out, they were trying to say, oh, this is one of the best keyboards you'll ever have. People hated them and they broke. But guess what they did? The next keyboard, they didn't say we're sorry, but they definitely, like, they went back to they went to the scissor keyboard they went back to that, and they were like, as their way of saying, yeah, we kind of screwed up, so we're sorry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love Apple's keyboards. They're really good. They're really high tech now. But like you said, those one they was broke. Again, Apple has done some things in the past where people can't forgive them for. But again, it's just companies trying things and trying to get it a niche or an edge inside the business or the market. You can't blame a company for doing that.
Yeah, Steve had the best thing he ever says is that people, he was in an interview one time and people said, we're, you know, the one guy went up to him and said, he says, how do you feel, like, how is it feeling that you're making all the bad decisions? And Steve went, well, I mean, paraphrasing here, but said, you know what? There are things that I have no idea what I'm talking about, but but here's the thing. Nobody's ever doing this stuff. Nobody's, doing this stuff. So are we going to screw up? Yeah, we're going to screw up. But the point is, we are trying our hardest, and at least people are doing it. People are trying things. They want to get out there. They want to try new things. And that's how you make a difference. Is you got to make a difference. You got to change some things. Are you going to screw up many times? Heck yes. So he always talks about there. He says, and the biggest thing that Steve would always talk about is we're just people doing this stuff. You know, once we know we screwed up, we'll own up to it and we'll fix it. Um, but they're not going to really do something. They're not going to. They don't really want to. They don't try to. How do I say this? How I say this? They try to fix things, but they don't want to try to give you a alternative without making a good decision. Essentially, like USB-C. They know USB-C is the better way to plug stuff into your computer. Not everybody's adapted to USB-C yet,
No,
but slowly over time, a lot of things have been going to USB-C, and guess what? Now everybody's going like, "Oh yeah, USB-C on these computers is a good idea." So
phones are going to that way too. We're at what Lightning port right now, Hunter. I think for the iPhones.
yes.
Yeah.
Rumor is next iPhone they're going to get rid of it.
Yep.
Um,
It took what 5 years before they did that. I think they were talking about like 5 years.
2007. That's when
Yeah.
they no, scratch that. Yeah, it was 2007 was iPhone 4. No, it was 3. No, the original iPhone. Then 3, then 3S, then 4, then 4S. It was 5. So 5 had to be that. So 7, 2007 plus 4 years, let's say.
So they've been talking about it since 2007,
So
2011 to go on to what
so
from away from Lightning.
so from what I've heard, the story is so what I've heard the story was computer companies all got together, and this is back in when Lightning happened. So let's just say 2007. They were all going like, "Hey, listen, USB-C is going to be the big thing. However, it's about 5 years away." Apple was the one who said, "We can't wait that long. People need something now." So that's when they invented Lightning, and that they made the Lightning cable. And I think the only reason to keep Lightning cable around nowadays is for two reasons. One is it's proprietary. Like you can, it's only Apple devices who do it. And then two, I think they do is because um, a couple of people are still using Lightning, so you're not ready to get rid of it. I think now enough devices are out there that USB-C has now become a standard or a side standard to a point that they're willing to say, you know what, we are comfortable enough going over to USB-C now.
No, but the thing is, phones like mine and yours, they start to sell Lightning because we only do Lightning. Like the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max still has Lightning cable, so they start to sell them for just because if they break or they don't charge anymore, and the customer, the consumer needs to go because they Apple is smart. They know that those we still got old iPhones out, and the way that Tim is doing it now is they'll be updating old iPhones with the newest softwares up to a certain degree. The ones that can only handle it. So the fact is, they're going to have to keep the Lightning cables around for a little bit, even if they go to the BC, because of there's a lot of more consumers that has iPhones like yours and I's, where we still need the cables.
It's going to be one of those where
Yeah,
it's Apple can Apple because Apple, they can do it either way.
yeah, they could do it either way. Of course, they don't give a shit.
They could say in 2 years we're not selling any more Lightning cables.
They could say that, yeah.
They can completely say that, and a lot of people go like, "Well, I still have this," and it's like, it's not their way of saying. They're not telling you, "Well, go get a new device." They're just going to go like, "Well, we're not selling a lot of them. Not a lot of people have them anymore."
They're pretty much saying buy our new phone. That's what pretty much they're saying. They're pretty much saying without saying this because they can't say this, but they're pretty much saying to you as a consumer, shut the fuck up, get a new product and like it. We don't give a shit. That's pretty much what they're saying without saying it.
Or they can go like, or they can fully pull again. They can fully pull like a very big company like jerk move, which is like, well, we're gonna raise up the Lightning prices up to
they could
like $20 or $25 per cable.
What is it now to buy separately? Like what, like $10, Hunter?
14, I think.
14. Yeah, they could raise up to 25 and say that's probably what they could do, Hunter. They probably won't get rid of it completely. If I'm knowing Tim Cook wise to a degree, they'll probably put up to, like you said, 25, $30. Say you need this Lightning cable, pay us $30 because they can at that point, because it's still not behind. It'll be high in demand, even though because they're just coming out with BC on iPhones because they've never been in iPhones before. So the fact is they have to probably sell Lightning for a little bit longer until they get like probably 3 generation phones out there with the BC to where they can start going a little bit back on the Lightning cables. You know what I'm saying? So what it looks like to me, what might happen, guys, don't take this as the
Again,
Bible,
they could be again,
they could do that.
they could go full on like nice, nice guy version where they
They
just go
could.
like, listen, we'll sell the USB, because because USB-C is now becoming a universal cable that goes to any, any device. Like, I mean, the iPads use them,
Yep.
Android phones use them, all that good stuff. So the USB-C is a little bit more cheaper to go with. They might just simply say, okay, we're going to still sell the exact same price of US, Lightning on there. Well, we're just going to keep it at that. But they can go full on like, or they could go full on like, listen, because we're trying to transition over USB-C, we're just going to raise up the pricing of Lightning. So that way we do technically have it, but we're technically trying to tell you secretly, hey, you probably want to switch over to,
Eventually. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm not going to because again, I just bought my own phone case product for my phone off my merch store. I'm not going away from the iPhone 12 Pro. I don't care what they do. And in this September with the iPhone 14 being getting away from the Lightning cable, I'm not doing that. I'm going to keep my iPhone at least for another until Apple comes out and says, hey, we are going to discontinue Lightning. Then I'll be like, well, this is that time to probably go invest in the new phone because I don't where am I get my Lightning cable from? They don't even company that sells it. So it's like, and when they stop making it, that means that's quote unquote saying that's less portions to go get. That means it's nothing out there. Like, what are you gonna get it from if they ain't making it? Because that's the company that makes it, that produces it.
Yep.
If they ain't gonna make it anymore, where are you gonna get it at? You ain't gonna get it. So it's like,
yep, there's probably like third-party companies who do it, but they die within, a week or so.
yeah, because Apple makes theirs a little bit more high techer.
Yeah, they make theirs a little bit more quality.
Yep.
But the big company is saying, well, we're not making it anymore. You buy from a third party and then they break, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. So again, at that point, that's when I'll get rid of mine. Like, I will not upgrade my iPhone until Apple comes out and says we're done selling, or even they come out and say, hey, I still keep my iPhone. If they come out and say this, like you just said, Hunter, like, okay, we're going away from Lightning, but we're gonna go with the port BC, but we are going to raise the prices of all Lightning cables from $15 to $25, $24.99. So if you still want these Lightning cables, you have to pay us $25 to get it.
Again, they can go either way.
I hope they say that. I hope they say that. That's the worst possibility. I will say is they say we discontinue Lightning. That means that's going to force you and I and other iPhone users that has the oldest iPhones, or even mine's the newest, even because it's a 12, but it doesn't matter. At that point, when the new iPhone comes out, from that, it's technically quote unquote the count as the oldest, but it's really not because it's only like not even 2 years old. But it's like, I'm just saying, like, in that general, if they do that, then it puts you and I in a position to be like, well, like, what we're going to do? Third parties, like you said, third parties ain't going to be quality. It's going to be shit. So,
oh yeah, then they said 3 products, I believe, that are still using Lightning, which is their keyboard, their mouse, and their AirPods.
Yep.
Like, they still work on Lightning, so it's not something that they can completely get rid of like right away.
Nope.
They still have like other ones, and until they have like, they change the other ones off on there, they can't really like get rid of it.
No, so that's why I'm thinking that they're going to raise the prices. That's why I was saying that, because I think, because like you said, they have it there. Even if the new iPhone comes out next year without having the Lightning port, it doesn't matter. Like you said, they have all their products as Lightning, so it's like they other products are Lightning, so they'll have to still sell it up to probably, I'm thinking timeline wise, because Apple likes to innovate. I was thinking it takes them with Apple. It's just like anything; they take long. Hunter can correct me if I'm wrong, but they take long when it comes to innovate new things. When they get rid of stuff, they can take up to like 5 to a decade to get rid of something.
They're one of the first people who got rid of the CD drive on on laptops. They were one of the first people to get rid of it. They were one of the first people to get rid of floppy disk, and they went over to USB.
Yep.
And a lot of people were calling them crazy for doing that. They're like, how can you have a computer without floppy disks? Do we sell floppy disk?
No.
People go like, for like CD or the DVD drive. They're like, how can you point it out that? Why am I paying for all this stuff? And it's like, does anybody do that anymore?
Nope.
So like
Apple changed it.
Apple is one of those people that says, listen, we understand how connected you are to this, but for things to change, you got to do it this way.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general. Like now, Apple's still bigger like the hunt, so they can take their time. This is probably back, like you said, when where Apple was one of the first ones that did risks. Now, if you look at the way that the mentality is, they're the last company to make changes. Like you got Androids doing the flip phone. Where's Apple's flip phone? Like I don't see any
Apparently,
flip phone.
they actually do have a patent for that.
No, they do. They're working on it. But one thing Apple is doing is if it's shit, we don't release it. That's something that I like, because what Apple's doing is probably Tim Cook has probably looked at. There's a lot of stuff that Apple does inside house that we don't know about, but it's like they're probably like this. He looked at, they said, yeah, this flip phone is garbage. Scrap it, move on, another design. So something that he didn't like, that's why they don't have one out. I'm saying nowadays Tim Cook is a little bit more into himself, where he sees what the market's doing. Like I'm saying, he's seeing, okay, what's Android doing, what's this company doing, what's that company doing, and then if it sells, they'll be like, okay, then now we can innovate our own and get it out there.
Speaking of which, for that, by the way, one of the things they were supposed to announce at the recent one, the Worldwide Developers Conference on there.
Yeah.
Apparently Mac. Okay, so the Mac Pro, right?
Yes.
The big computer.
Yep.
The thing that cost $6,000, and it's only a baseline computer.
Yep. And if you go up to 10 grand.
You can go up to $10,000 on there.
Yeah.
They were supposed to, because that's the only computer that they have right now that is not M1 based right now.
Oh my.
It's the only computer that's not M1. And they even said we're going to take about, I think, a 2-year period to transfer everything over to M1. Well, apparently during the last conference one, they were supposed to announce the M1 Mac Pro, but they didn't.
Exactly.
Because they thought, okay, this is crap, we're not going to do it. So with that, the rumor is during this one, they're actually going to announce the M2 Mac Pro.
Okay.
Which, in my opinion, they should not even make whatsoever.
I agree. I was about to say that, like, it's going to be
the
bad.
Mac Studio is, I think, replaces the Mac Pro.
Right.
Because one, it's the size of a Mac Mini, essentially. It's smaller, it's more compact, and you can buy the thing for about $4,000 of the base model, and it's already powerful enough to take care of a lot of stuff you want to do.
Right.
It can do video editing, you can do all that stuff, and
all they can't do is game, and you have to get powerful. Yeah, I don't think
from what their new software they're saying from there is you can play games on it and it can actually work pretty darn well.
Okay, awesome. I just think Tim Cook personally is getting too. I think he's getting too comfortable. I think Tim Cook is releasing too many products. They need to chill. In my opinion, I think Tim Cook is getting a little too aggressive. I think I like when Apple's more recessive. Because I'm in the period with Apple where they are the last things to make changes to the devices compared to their competition. But it's like I want Apple to really think about this when they're making life changes for people that love the product, because it can affect what we just said. I'd rather Apple to be like, this is dog shit, we're not releasing this whatsoever, to releasing it and being like, yo, it's totally trash, we should not have did that. I'd rather them not do that. I'm all for companies taking risks, but if like you just said, if it's trash, with that thing you're talking about, and they already got something out there like that, Hunter, with it compared to what you just said, why release? It's just like having a double ganger. Just change the name. Like, why would you release the same product but just a different name? You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Because the products that they have out is, I mean, discluding their accessories too much. Like, I'm not going to go too deep and say, oh, they sell hard drives. I'm not going to go into that. Their big products are the Apple Watch,
iPhone,
iPad,
yep,
iPhone, iMac, Mac Mini, Mac Studio, and Mac Pro. Oh, that's one of the other big stuff. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, the Apple Watch is considered an accessory. Like, sure, go ahead with that. But
You can have your own arguments with that.
it's a thing that's like they put a lot of like things to, like it's something they push. So I would consider its own thing going on.
I do too.
Um, so with that category of products they have, I mean, of course they have keyboards, they have mice and all that, but we're not getting into that whole entire thing. So they have about what, 7 products. I'm terrible with counting off the top of my head, but they have like that many products. Honestly, I think that the see, I think each one has a category of stuff they can do. Oh, and also MacBooks. That was another thing I forgot to put in there. They're MacBooks. Um, I think they have like a good amount of categories for their stuff so far. And the M1 chip was fantastic. Like that thing is fantastic for video editing. That thing is perfect for, I mean, if any programmers can talk to us about that stuff, I think they're pretty good for that. And they're really like, I have a MacBook Air. I personally have. Love that thing to death. It doesn't overheat. It's super portable. And if I throw an editing software on that thing, it can work fine. Um, so yeah, I think they're doing pretty darn good with their products right now. Um, but personally, I think if they were to get rid of a product, I want to ask you your opinion too. What they would want to, I would get rid of. Um, Personally, the Mac Pro is something I would get rid of.
I would say personally, what I think that they should get rid of is all these other PCs. Like these PCs that you just named, there's some of them that they don't really need. Just have one to where like like you can. They should have what is it, Hunter? Like all these like you have the iMac, you have the like it's just so much stuff. I think part of me thinks that they don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can level up your PC in Apple. That's why Apple has some great PC because you can like you said you can make up to $10,000 to make it the powerful as you want it to be.
Yeah, because I would get rid of the Mac Pro because that's $6,000 just for a shell, nothing
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
Where you can get the Mac Studio for $4,000, and it can do already more than the Mac Pro can. Now, a lot of people may argue and say, "Well, the Mac Pro, if you max it out, it's perfect for you know digital effects and all that good stuff." Fair point. That's a very fair point.
Oh yeah,
But
that's yeah.
it's not something that I would like, it's not something exactly everyone's going to buy, which they already know. They know that. But like at that point, just, instead of giving like the base price and saying, oh, yeah, well, just pay 5,000, pay $6,000. It's not going to do everything you want it to, but it can do pretty darn good. I would just be like, sell it at $7,000, sell it at $8,000. Your market may still be there, but it's like one of those things where you have it, but it's more aware, like, listen, you're not going to pay for that.
No, no, I'm just saying in general, like the Apple Watch, yeah, I love the Apple Watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't say get rid of the Apple Watch, but I would say they just have, in my opinion, too many products. And then if they come out with this, I just what you just said earlier with the new iMacs with that new thing inside, then who cares? Like that's just dumb. They should just cut that and just take the loss on what they paid to make it and just be like, it's just gonna bomb. I don't think it's gonna do good if they release it.
I just don't think there's a market for it.
No,
Like,
I don't think so either.
because a lot of people, like, again, if anybody has an argument on there, put it down in the comments below to like tell us, what you think. But personally, I just think the Mac Pro, it had its day, and I think the Mac Studio is the next, logical step to it. Is it as customizable as the Mac Pro? No, but it's more powerful at a lower price, and it's something that you can put it on like 5 desks and not put up, not take up any room.
Right. Yeah, I just think that Tim Cook is getting a little too happy.
I mean, it's $3 trillion. I don't think
Oh
they.
yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think they're crying about.
No, they're not crying, but this is not going to what put them into. It's Apple. It will sell, but I think it's going to do. I don't think it's going to do as well as they think it's going to.
Right.
I just this one product is not going to break them. They just need to be careful on what to discontinue. That's nothing too. Why I think Apple takes a little bit longer to discontinue stuff because the popular items are like you just said, the Apple Watch, the iPhone, the iMacs, like
Yeah, because
the iPads.
they just recently got rid of the iPod.
Yeah, the iPads. You know what I'm saying? The iPads, I think they're really popular too, right, Hunter? You
Oh
could
yeah,
correct
there's
me if
a.
I'm
I'm
wrong.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's their second most popular product,
Oh yeah.
if not their most popular. But that's a argument for another day.
Oh yeah. But I just think that if they get rid of any products like that, that's when you need to start worrying because it's still a major product that they
Like I would say,
sell.
if they were going to simplify it down on
Hmm.
there, the thing I would probably say them to do, which can also save them money, but you can almost argue because it's a family thing, because again, the iMac, it's not made for professionals anymore. I mean, professionals can use it, but it's not, there. It's for families. It's
Hmm.
like you need your kid needs to go on the computer. They got an iMac. Then their MacBooks, you get a MacBook Air, and then you have a MacBook Pro, which they should get rid of the 13-inch MacBook Pro. That thing is old as ever now. I mean, they just upgraded with the the M2 chip, so arguments be there, but I think they should just discontinue that version.
I agree.
So I think it should be the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro 14, and the MacBook Pro 16-inch. Just have
Yeah.
those three.
Yep. They know recently the 14 to 16. I think they're
Because
a
the
little
14
recent.
and 16 with the M1, like their processor and that thing, dude, you could like you don't even have to suit that thing up. That thing can automatically take a punch.
Yeah, the iPads are really powerful. People don't. You can
Oh, the
actually
new
do it.
iPad, the
Oh yeah.
iPads are fantastic.
Oh yeah. No, again, these not get rid of it. The reason why we have these conversations. I just think the thing that you're talking about. I forget what you're talking about. But again, I don't know much about the Apple products, guys. That Hunter knows like all the the nitty gritty stuff because to me it's all the same because it's like it's just they release this quote unquote new shit, but it's like the same thing but with this processor, this M1 chip. It's the A12. It's the best chip on the planet. That's all it is the same chip, but just more powerful. That's the way I look at it. So again,
I would
yeah,
say this, if they do the iPhone with the M1 chip, which I doubt they're going to do, but if they do it,
that'll be highly powerful.
dude, that like if anybody were to cry and say, "Oh, my phone's not powerful," I'm like, "Bull crap."
Still powerful now. What is it? What we got? What in my phone, Hunter? I have the A1, right? The A1 chip, I think, in the iPhone 12 Pro. iPhone 12 Pro.
12.
Yeah, 12 Pro. Not the Max, just the 12 Pro.
I believe it's the A15 in there.
That's still powerful. That's one of the
Oh,
newest
again,
chips.
like
Yeah, yeah.
that thing is powerful enough to put into whatever you need to do for it.
Oh yeah.
Um, and even that they even say like it's not you haven't unlocked the 100% of it. It's only like 30% of it because they're aware like you know iPhones are not ready to be souped up. But I'm pretty sure when they put the M1 processor, if they were to do the M1 processor inside of a phone, forget about it. Forget about it. That phone will never like if you were to say like, "Oh, my phone's not powerful enough," I'm gonna like,
Probably cost you $2,000 if they do that because that'd be a lot of freaking power and it has a lot more components they can put into it. So it's probably you think phones cost now they cost what $1,000 now for the highest volume one
how,
of the iPhones. So I
how about
imagine they put that in there. That'd be like $2,000. I guarantee
how about we do a guess of saying the
it.
iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max are gonna have the M1 chip in them?
We could do that. I'll say yes. I think that they would. If
Do
that's the
you think
case,
so?
we're looking at almost $1,500 to possibly $2,000
Yeah.
for that phone alone because of that M1 processor.
Like
Because it's like
I think the processor is gonna be the exact same. Well, you could probably say it's gonna be the next step up, which I think is 16 or whatever the next one is. I think the next like the baseline, the 13 and the 13 mini, which I don't know if they're getting rid of the mini or not, but anywho, my point. I think when they go into that, it will be it will be the A16 chip in there. But then they're also going to say, well, with our pros series, we're going to then put the M1 chip in there.
yep. I think the iPhone Pros and Max will get the M1 chip because again, like me, like I am a pro, you're a pro because I am a content creator on Twitch and YouTube. So with that being said, is I have the iPhone 12 Pro. Imagine in the future, like we just saying, they're going to put they could possibly put the M1 into the Pros and the Max.
Right.
The only difference between the Pros and the Max would be you get one bigger screen or you get one small screen. Like me, I don't mind the big screen, but the reason why I like the Pro in my hand because I want to go down to Steve Jobs' philosophy. It needs to fit in my pocket. I don't want to carry around a tablet of a phone. If I want a tablet, I go buy myself a freaking iPad. I'd rather have an iPhone that's small enough in my pocket, like the 12 Pro Mac, the 12. I mean, yeah, like the 12 Pro I have now is small enough to fit in my hands in my pocket. So I don't feel like I'm taking a iPad around or a tablet around like that. I don't mind the bigger phones on from iPhone, but I like the size that I have right now, like the Pros. So I wonder if they're going to put the M1 in Pros as well as the Max, and just say the only difference is one is a bigger screen and the other one is smaller.
Yeah, it's gonna like the Pro series. They're probably gonna say is like it goes,
Mm-hmm.
the Pro series. They're probably gonna make it sound like make it more of a Pro series out of it. Put the M1 because I think with the transition they're trying to do is they're trying to make everything like I mean again Apple makes their own processors for their phones already, but I think they're trying to make the phones also M1, and then eventually when they do that, it's gonna be like an all in one like the M processors
Oh yeah.
essentially.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I think that's what they're gonna do. And I think even as people like you and I, even if they do the M1 processors in iPhones, it doesn't matter. Like people that buy them are probably not like they're probably just regular people. They're not like pros, you know what I'm saying? But people still buy because they like the most expensive stuff. You got people out there, so that's why Apple makes so much money because it's like they can go down to markets like you and I, Hunter, the ones that
Right.
are the pros, it's the ones that are not the pros, the ones that say, oh, I got all the pseudos, all the monies that work a good paying job. I'm a doctor, blah blah blah, but I do want this M1 processor, even though that I'm only going to use like 20% of it. And even with us, we only going to use 20% of it or 30% of it in these iPhones because of, you never get 100% of what, because it's just so much stuff that you can do with M1 processor.
That is true. I mean, there's only so much you can do, especially on a mobile,
Yep.
like a mobile device, like even on their iPads that have the M1 processor. They even say like you're not
Yeah.
going to be using all that power.
And
You're
you're
only going to
spending the money for this shit, guys, and you're not using 100% of it. Come on, wake up. You're not using 100% of it
right.
at all.
Yep. So we're basically so for this last part of the segment on here. Now, one of the things that we're both big fans of movies. Like we're both, we both are. And one of the guys that that we both love and we're both inspired to is Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
Robert Rodriguez, I think for anybody who wants to be a filmmaker, should always look up to Robert Rodriguez
I agree.
because he's the guy who does everything himself. He's the guy who does all that stuff. And he's a very big advocate for independent filmmakers, not the studio filmmakers, the
He has his own company
independents.
now, too.
Yep, and he owns his own. Which, by the way, unfortunately he sold El Rey.
Oh,
It was shut down last year on December 31st.
he couldn't afford it anymore.
I guess he just didn't see the thing, but somebody else just bought it.
What, Elway Network or his production company?
El Rey Network.
Aw.
I know.
He says, I was about to say, I thought he got rid of his production company. I was about to scream.
No, Troublemaker he still owns.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I guess he probably couldn't afford Elway anymore, maybe.
He just probably wasn't like putting enough resources into it and all that good stuff. So that was sad. However, he went back to his roots I think when Alita Battle Angel, which we saw in theaters,
Mhm.
around that time he went back to his roots and made a $7,000 movie. And the movie is inspired by his real inspired by the events that went on, how he got his money to make his first independent movie for $7,000. And this movie is called Red 11.
Yep.
Now, Aaron, I don't know how much you know about this movie. But yeah, he went out and he shot it himself. He wrote it with his son. He directed it. He shot it. He produced it. His son did the sound to it, and like all the whole production was done on a very low budget and just with him by himself. With him and his son. So
We just can't hear the audio. Just let you know
yeah.
that we can't.
So
Yep.
we'll put the link in down below of the
Yep.
trailer, but I want to show Aaron and get his thoughts on it. All right. So this is Red 11. You can see it, right?
Yep. I can see it. Does the son act in this too?
Nah, I don't know, to be honest.
Troublemaker Studios. These are some low budget actors, you can tell.
Oh yeah. And then
Handheld. That's handheld, and you can tell.
yeah. Then it was El Cheapo Productions.
No, Cheapo, but he made his own thing called El Cheapo Productions. That's owned by Troublemaker Studios, I'm assuming, Hunter.
Oh yeah. It's other companies just do that, so just in case someone sues them, it's not the big company who gets sued, it's the small.
No, so they can sue El Cheapo Productions.
Yeah.
pretty much is a scapegoat. That's why these big companies do that.
Yep. He also has a documentary of how he made it, which I like. I would love to see.
I gotta see this movie, Hunter. Is it going into theaters?
It went to the Sundance Film Festival. But that was the last I've ever heard of it. And then recently, they said they were releasing it on a streaming service, and then I found it on YouTube and actually just bought it because I was like,
we gotta watch it later.
yeah, I have the movie, so believe me, I would.
The needles. I can't do it. All right. Yes, Robert. Love the camera angle. Oh my god. He has a little story into it. What's the point of injecting them? Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
So basically, when Robert Rodriguez had to go do financing for his movie El Rey, when he did the financing for it, he went to the Texas Research Center, which basically he sold his body for science so he can get money. Like, one example was he went into the facility and they injected him with I forget what it was called, but then they cut out the skin right after that, and then did some research on it.
That's right.
Put him up on there, and I think he got $2,000 for that. So he did all that stuff for $7,000, and that's how he made his movie.
That's pretty much what this guy's doing. So the actor plays in this movie is supposed to be Robert Rodriguez as younger, and then he pretty much whatever the study was. That's how he got his money. So that's I like it. We got to see it later, Hunter. We do.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
He has money now, guys. So we were saying he only put $7,000. Just know Robert Rodriguez. He's not the biggest filmmaker, but he is comfortable. He has money, guys. Let you know that he's not like a Steven Spielberg or like a James Wan or like a Scorsese. He's not like none of those guys, but he's a great filmmaker nonetheless, and he does make, like I said, decent amount of money. He only throws $7,000, I think, out of his own out of Troublemakers, which is his business alone to make it.
I mean, he knows what he likes nowadays. Yep. He knows what he wants to do.
He's not doing any more like major big companies or less. It was with James Cameron because they're friends. I think they're friends, him and James Cameron.
Right.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know. Did they have a falling out? I'm not sure.
Right. But yeah, so for this movie, we'd definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna watch it with Aaron soon, and we're both gonna like get our own thoughts on next episode.
We will. Hope you guys saw this podcast a little long, guys. If you guys are still here from the beginning to the end, we really appreciate it if you guys will stick around from the beginning to the end. Let us know how you guys feel about the Apple conversation, the Steve Jobs story, and how Bill Gates himself has saved Apple in the past. With that being said, guys, if you want to check out Hunter's YouTube, it will be down at the bottom of the screen, and also his websites. And also to know if you guys want to hear something else that you want us to talk about, please comment down below. And remember to get 10 likes if you guys want to hear the darkest days of Disney. With that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next episode. The rest of you guys' day.
Bye-bye.